Our eyes, our ears, and our mouths are literally rivers to the ocean of our heart. One of the things, subhanAllah, during this month of Ramadan that we're all keenly aware of is our relationship to the Quran. And during the fasting, subhanAllah, Allah is literally preparing our hearts to be able to receive the wisdom and the light of the Quran. Because the fasting during the daytime literally prepares our hearts and our minds to have a hyper awareness, a hyper consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our hearts become constricted when we even think about sin. Our hearts become constricted at the thought of disobeying Allah. We're even afraid sometimes, subhanAllah, of course, about, is this halal? Is this not halal? We're thinking about what we're watching, what we're listening to, our words that we say, and of course, that which we digest, making our hearts more prepared to receive the benefit and the blessing of the Quran. So that when we begin to recite the Quran during Ramadan, of course, that opening of the hearts, right? As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us, it's not the minds that are dead, it's the hearts that are dead, right? Talking about this consciousness that it relates to the heart. So as we're reciting the Quran and reviewing the studies, having a reflection over its verses, its parables, its meaning, our hearts become more connected to those meanings, to those stories, and we're more inclined to act upon it. So the beauty, subhanAllah, of this is it teaches us this relationship between the month of Ramadan, right? That if this is the month that the Quran was revealed, as we know that it was, then why would Allah prescribe for us to fast during this month? He's saying literally, I want you to take this moment and to purify the rivers that lead to your heart. So instead of watching television or watching, scrolling through your phone or being on social media, spend time using your eyes to watch the Quran. Instead of listening to maybe music or things that you would, other things in your car, or listening to, whatever's happening on television at 5 o'clock, instead, you're more inclined to listen to the Quran. Instead of just hanging out, talking with your friends, sometimes even just idle talk or useless conversations, we're more inclined during this month of Ramadan to use our tongues to recite the Quran. And what we know is that our eyes, our ears, and our mouths are literally rivers to the ocean of our heart. And our heart is actually where we receive the message and the wisdom and the light of the Quran. So by purifying these particular rivers, subhanAllah, to our hearts, we're making sure that we're able to read the Quran with a higher level of understanding. Jazakumullah khair. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you during this month, that the Quran is opened for you, meaning that the wisdom and the light, you're able to receive it by your heart being purified.